What is going on, everybody? I am the FDGURU, bringing to you guys a Wednesday NBA edition of my DFS podcast. We have 8 games on the main slate tonight. Looks like a really good main slate. Another really good-looking main slate all week long. I've really liked the way these slates have looked, although we haven't really had the results that we've wanted over the first 2 days of this week. Both nights really productive lineups, just falling a tad short with a couple of bad performances. But we live to see another day. In this video, I'm giving you guys a free Guru credit code, as I tweeted earlier. Just give this video a like, subscribe, and put my alerts on. I'll be giving one value play for each position. We have a ton of value once again on this slate. We've been getting news throughout the day. We do still have some questionable guys to be looking at. I'll talk about that. But, you know, the Sixers look like the best team on the slate with their injuries, and now we're getting the Nets back to their, last slate. The Nets were out without Ben Simmons and, all these other guys. So we'll talk about that. They look great as well with a matchup against the Pistons and now the Pelicans as well. So we'll get into everything. It'll be quick, short, and sweet, as I like to do. Like I said, I'll give you that code after the first couple of my plays. Point guard, easy play, Tyrese Maxey. There's no reason not to love Maxey. I mean, we all loved him last slate, 43 minutes, 31 and 10, 48 fantasy points. He needs 44 to hit value. He's projected for over 50 tonight. The huge thing here is against the Suns, they didn't have Embiid or Drummond, and now they don't have Paul George either. So we just are going to see a ton of usage. Maxey's the best spend up on the slate. It's not really close. It would be pretty dumb to fade him, in my opinion. I think he is a must-play in all formats tonight. The fact that we don't have Paul George is the, cherry on top of this Sunday, and they're without, the other usual guys, Embiid, McCain, KJ Martin, Kyle Lowry. Andre Drummond is questionable in this game. I don't think that matters too much, as there's a decent chance he just comes off the bench, even if he does play this game. But Tyrese Maxey looks like an unfadable piece to tonight's slate, and I guess we'll talk about other injuries. We got, on the other side of this Wizards game, oh boy, I mean, we got Jordan Poole out again, we got Brogdon, we got Marvin Bagley, and then we have 3 questionable guys like we saw last slate. Carrington, Kyle Kuzma, Alex Sarr. Those questionable tags do matter. The Wizards could have some value tonight. It is the first game of the slate, so we'll know that news. But if Alex Sarr is out, and then even Kyle Kuzma, I mean, Valanciunas would probably start and be a lock for 25-plus minutes. He would be probably a really good play at center. We'll have to see how things pan out, but Carrington, Kuzma, and Sarr all questionable. The Wizards are really banged up. Other injury news, I had mentioned Ben Simmons doubtful tonight now. They're going to be without their usual guys, D'Angelo Russell, Cam Thomas, Watford. All those guys are still out. And then for the Pistons in that game, Jaden Ivey and Asar Thompson also out, like we've seen. Karl Anthony Towns questionable for the Knicks. He missed the last game. We'll see what ends up happening with him. I would assume he tries to play tonight after they just got embarrassed against the Magic with Towns out. I think it was one of those scenarios where they were huge favorites and they were like, hey, we can win this game without Towns. It's the Magic, and they ended up losing. So I don't know if they want to fall into that same trap against the Raptors tonight. Pelicans, Zion is out. That's not surprising. He came back last night, did a nice windmill 360 dunk on that breakaway, which was cool to see. I was always going to assume that he was out tonight on the second leg of a back-to-back. Denny Advia is questionable for the Blazers. We have DeJounte Murray questionable again for the Pelicans. Jokic, surprise scratch last night with an illness. He was not on the injury report all day. Then he was downgraded to probable. And then an hour later, like at 5 o'clock Eastern, questionable. And then you knew things were going to get pretty negative pretty fast. Ended up missing the game last night against the Celtics. That's a game he needs to be available for. So he had to have been pretty damn sick to not play a home matchup against the Celtics. The Nuggets ended up losing in result to that. So he's questionable tonight. We'll see if he can go. That's a great game tonight. Nuggets and Clippers, 2-point spread, 226 over under. I mean, if Jokic is out, it's just going to boost these other Nuggets starters again. Dario Saric was an absolute zero as a starter last night. We saw Peyton Watson come off the bench and see the most value. And then we have no injury news, thank God, for that late game 9:30 Eastern between the Bucks and Spurs, which is actually a pretty good game too, the way Wembanyama's been playing. Giannis is probable. Dame Lillard's playing. Middleton coming off the bench tonight, as they released in news earlier. I don't know why that game's at 9:30 Eastern. I don't know the details behind that, but they're in Milwaukee, so that's a weird 9:30 start. But that's the latest game on the slate. Just a little recap of the news. Not a ton, but for shooting guard, with all the Nets so banged up, we're going to go back to Keon Johnson. He was 5K and like 80% owned last slate in the same position. Now he's 5,500. I don't think it's a high enough price. Obviously not as great of a value, being $500 more expensive, but I do still think he's a good play. Played 36 and 31 minutes over the last two games. Actually did not shoot the ball well at all last game. He still got 31 fantasy points. He's projected for 30 fantasy points. He needs 27 to hit value. Looks like a great play. Can play shooting guard and small forward. Good matchup against the Pistons. Pistons are pretty big favorites, but they're banged up too, so they're 9-point favorites. I do think this game stays close. Another guy on the Nets in a similar spot, he went up $800. Tyrese Martin was like 90% owned last slate at 4K. 4,800 will be a little bit harder to get to him, but he played 30 minutes. He started, got 22 fantasy points. If he wants to hit value at that salary, he's going to have to get the same thing, 22. So he could be in play as well. But I do like Keon Johnson just a little bit more for $700 more expensive. For my Guru credit code, go to my website, make an account if you don't have one. It's the only way for these credits to go into your account. You get a bunch when you sign up anyways. No credit card required. Just got to validate an email. Go to my shop page where you buy all your usual credits. Today's code to get you 10 credits is the date as, usual. All capital letters, Jan 8, MBA 25 for the year. Jan 8, MBA 25. Hit apply coupon, and it will say coupon successfully applied. Again, all I ask, just like this video and subscribe. I want to have a really big night tonight. We're due for something special. Again, like I said, this week's been pretty frustrating. I've liked every slate so far this week. It just hasn't fully panned out. But we'll see some good things tonight, I think. I'm feeling it. We deserve it. Good karma is on our side. Small forward, going back to the 76ers, I think it's going to be extremely difficult not to have 4 76ers in your cash lineups tonight. Kelly Oubre, just an absolute smash play tonight at 5,900. He is not priced for Embiid and Paul George to be out against the Wizards. He came back after an injury, or was it an injury? Yeah, his hand. He missed 3 games, played 38 minutes as a starter, had one of his best games of the year, if not the best game of the year, 26 and 11, 39.7 fantasy points. At this price, he only needs 29, and he's projected for 36 tonight. So just a great overall value play. He's basically as good of a value play as Tyrese Maxey. Again, these 76ers all look so good. All of these starters are going to play well over 32 minutes tonight. So Kelly Oubre at 5,900, smash play. And then power forward, I don't want to play, I'm not going to give you guys 4 76ers, but I got to give you 3. And that's Yabusele again. He's also not priced for Embiid to be out. Even if Drummond plays tonight, I don't think it's going to be a huge factor. I still think Yabusele is going to play 28-plus minutes if Drummond is active tonight. I don't think Drummond starts. Yabusele looked really good against the Suns in his start with Embiid and Drummond out last game. 36 minutes, 14 and 10. Obviously, if Drummond is out, it'll make him even more of a smash play at this price. But either way, I like him to get 26 fantasy points to hit value. He's projected for almost 30 tonight. Looks really good. And again, the matchup couldn't be any better against the Wizards. It's a 11.5 point spread, so it could be a blowout, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm more worried about what the matchup is, and the matchup's fantastic. So give me Yabusele at only 5,300. He should honestly be priced at like 6,300. So I think we're getting like $1,000 value play in salary on Yabusele tonight. And then for center is not the best position tonight. If you have the money, go up to Wembanyama for sure. He could absolutely annihilate the Bucks. I mean, picturing Brook Lopez covering Wembanyama is hilarious, and I don't think Giannis is going to really matter either. I mean, I don't know who could realistically actually make an impact on defense against Wembanyama, but he's been an absolute beast. 63 plus fantasy points in his last 3 games. If you have that money, I'm going to try to get there. We do have a lot of value on this slate. Center is not a good position right now in terms of value. But for this video, I'm going to go with Zubac. You could look at Vucevic in a similar range. Great matchup against the Pacers. Pacers could be without Miles Turner tonight, which I forgot to talk about. Miles Turner, and somehow I completely went over this Bulls and Pacers game in the injury report, but Halliburton and Miles Turner are both questionable for the Pacers. That's one of the first games on the slate too, so we'll have that news before lock. But regardless, Vucevic pretty good against the Pacers, but I do like Zubac. He's projected for 39 fantasy points tonight. Whether Jokic plays or not, I don't think it matters. Jokic is not a great defender, and if Jokic plays, chances are he won't be 100% with that illness. And then if he's out again, I don't see a guy like Dario Saric or Peyton Watson slowing down Zubac. If Jokic is out tonight, after seeing Saric struggle last night, there's probably a chance that DeAndre Jordan starts just because Zubac is a beast and he's very tall. But regardless, great matchup against the Nuggets. Like I said earlier, I really like this game. He needs 37.5 fantasy points to hit value. Again, he's projected for 39. He's gone off the last 2 games, which is awesome to see. A really tough matchup against the Timberwolves. Had 6 blocks, 58 fantasy points, 47 the night before. Went through a couple game of a dry spell for a couple games. And then before that, he was also cooking 58, 46, 48. This guy has 50 to 60 point upside. I really like Zubac at 7,700 in this matchup against the Nuggets. And like I said, if I somehow have that 12.2K to spend up at center, well, who knows how lineups look later on. You could even put Wembanyama at power forward and still get Zubac, but we'll see. Zubac for this video at center, though. And that'll sum up this video, guys. Again, I'm excited for this slate. Give this video a like, subscribe, and put in that Guru credit code. Until next time, I am the FD Guru. Peace.